Hello everyone, welcome to the class. The topic of discussion of today's class is calculation of income and expenditure for not-for-profit organization. As you all know, not-for-profit organizations are those organizations who carry on activities to render service to the society whose main aim is not to earn profit but to render service and promote art and culture of the society. So in such kind of organization, how do we calculate the income and expenditure? Generally, we calculate this in the format of income and expenditure account. But before we go into that account, let's see how we calculate in simple language. How do we calculate an income and expenditure, and what are the factors to be kept in mind in this regard? So quickly, when we say income, it is a revenue generated by the non-trading organization or not-for-profit organization in a particular financial year, and just the opposite of it is expenditure, which is the outgoing expenses incurred by such kind of organization in one financial year. So when we say income and expenditure, generally we represent this in an account which is known as income and expenditure account, which determine the surplus or deficit of a not-for-trading organization in a particular financial year, which is similar to your profit and loss account. So it's a nominal account. Since it's a nominal account, the rule of nominal account applies, which is what? Debit all expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gains. So incomes are generally shown on the credit side, right hand side, and expenditure are shown on the left hand side of the account. Only revenue nature items are recorded in this particular account, and all capital items to be ignored. So when we calculate the income and expenditure in other than that showing in income and expenditure account, we have to also keep this into account that most importantly, we only take into calculation the information which is relating to the current financial year or current accounting year in which we are dealing with, and anything relating to the previous year and future year is to be ignored. Okay, that is only item incomes and expenses relating to the accounting year, that is current year, are taken into consideration, and those income and expense which is not meant for a specific purpose, that means suppose there was a donation for a building or for a particular, that is not to be considered in this particular while calculating the income and expenditure. So this will try to show through one or two sums. So for a not-for-trading organization or non-profit organization, the main source of income is your subscription, or let's say any other type of income, but say subscription being the most important. So how do we calculate the income? We take into the total subscription or the income received during a particular year. Now, to that, since an accrual basis, it's a nominal account, we adopt the accrual basis of accounting. So anything outstanding at the end of that particular year is to be added, and any amount that was received in the previous year but relating to the current year is also to be added. After that, adjustment has to be made or amount to be deducted are if any subscription or any income is outstanding at the beginning of the current year, or that is the end of the previous year, that is to be deducted. Any amount that is received this year but it relates to the previous year, or any amount received in this particular accounting period but relates to the next year, are to be deducted. So what in short, after all these adjustments, the amount that is left over after all the addition is calculated as income under that particular head. So since we are talking about subscription, I mean income from subscription will be at the amount that is left after the particular adjustment. So please remember, students, that is only for the current period. Any amount received this year, previous year, has to be adjusted. So if we can become more clear when you go through this particular sum. What is the sum? Where the question is, receipts and payments account disclose that a club has received rupees 8 lakhs by way of subscription during the year 31st March 2019. Other information relating to the subscriptions are subscription outstanding on 1/4/2018, that is beginning of that particular current year. Since it ends in 31st March, so current year is 1st April 2018 to 31st March 2009. So outstanding at the beginning of the year is 20,000. Of this 20,000, 14,000 was received. Out of this, rupees 14,000 was received. Okay. Now subscription received in advance. that is received in advance for the current year but received in the last previous year was 12,000. Subscription received in advance on 31/3/2019, that is it was received in advance on this date, means it was received for the next year, but it was received this particular year 16,400. So the income from subscription for the year 31st March 2019, if the subscription outstanding on 2018-19, that is current outstanding at the end of the current period is 25,600. Now let's calculate and see how much is to be taken as income from subscription. I repeated the question here, and the similar color shows the posting. It shows that we have received, total amount of receipt is 8 lakhs. So subscription received during the year is 8 lakhs. That is shown here. The first information that we have, outstanding at the beginning of the year is 20,000. Of these 20,000, only 14,000 was received. So subscription related to previous year received during the year has to be deducted. So that is 14,000. Next, subscript, generally what happens if anything outstanding at the beginning, had this 14,000 been not given to you, we would have deducted the entire 20,000. Assuming anything outstanding at the beginning of a particular year is assumed to be received during the year, but clearly it was mentioned the entire 20,000 was not received, only 14. That is why we have deducted 14,000. Students, I'm repeating, had this information in bracket not been given to you, we would have deducted the entire 20,000, because anything outstanding at the beginning of the current year has to be deducted. Next, we have subscription received in advance. So this 12,000 was relating to the current year, that is 1st April 2018 to 31st March, but it was received in the last day itself. That is to be added here. So 8 lakhs plus 12,000. Again, a subscription received in advance on 30, that is this 16,400 was relating to the next year. It was received, no doubt it was received in the current period, but it is relating to the next financial year. So that has to be deducted. So 16,400 is deducted here. Again, we have an information that at the end of this 31st March 2000 is still a pending 25,600 is yet to be received. That is outstanding at the end of the current financial year is to be added. Okay, so outstanding for 2018, this is our current year under consideration. So 25,600 is added. So after we add this and deduct this to amount, what we get, so actual income after all adjustments in the form of subscription is 8,07,200 rupees. This is the actual, and this this will be shown in the income and expenditure account. So student friends, this is how we adjust the income for a particular financial year in respect of profit for non-trading organization or not-for-profit organization. Next, our topic of discussion is expenditure. So we have given a sum to calculate the amount of salary which is debited. So salary is one of the important source of expenditure in an organization. There can be other, it may be rent, it may be expenditure for stationery. So these are different heads under which expenditure may come. Just I have taken one example is salary. The similar way we calculate it for the same other source of expenses also. What we have, salary outstanding at the beginning of the year, that is 2020. Here the financial year is January to December. Please see students, here we have to calculate the amount for 31st December. So beginning is January 2020. Outstanding at the beginning of the year is 1,20,000. On December 31st, 2020, which is the end of the year, financial year, prepaid salary. So that means it's paid for 1 lakh. That is, it is paid. Prepaid indicates at the end of the year, prepaid means it is related to the next financial year. Okay, so there is 2021. So 1 lakh has already paid for in relation to 2021. And another information that we have for 31st is salary is paid during that. So during the entire financial year from January to December, amount spent was 30 lakhs 20,000. Another additional information was a salaries for 2020 was not paid 2 lakhs. So there is an outstanding amount at the close of the financial year. Now, sir, let's do the adjustment. So find out actual amount of expenditure under the head of salaries. So same logic applies here. Amount spent during the year is the first taken, and this adjustments has to be done. What are the adjustments? We add any amount of expense that is left outstanding at the end of the current year, that is to be added. Amount that is spent in the previous year but relates to the current financial year has to be added to added. And what has to be deducted? Any amount due at the beginning, any amount outstanding at the beginning of the financial year or the end of the previous year, same thing it means, that has to be deducted. Any amount that has been paid in advance, any amount that has been prepaid in for the next financial year in the current fund, that is also to be adjusted. So after this adjustment, whatever amount, that is the actual expenditure relating to the current financial year. And if you that be post on the debit side of your income and expenditure account. So the sum again as shown. Again, let me remind you, the color indicates where it has been posted. So first information that we have is salaries outstanding. So as any amount outstanding at the beginning of the financial year has to be deducted. So 1,20,000 has been deducted. Next we have prepaid salary. So prepaid, again the same thing, that is it relates to the next financial year which was paid during this, that has also to be deducted. Any amount spent not relating to the current financial year, whether previous year or post future year, has to be deducted. So 1 lakh has been deducted, so it has been written here under deduction with the minus sign. So actual salary, the amount that has been spent during the year in name of salary is 30,20,000. So 30,20,000, from it these two amounts has to be deducted, and salaries which was outstanding at the end of the current is 2 lakhs. So we add to 30,20,000, we add this and we deduct 1,20,000 and 1 lakh. So one amount that is remaining with us is 30 lakhs. So the amount of expenditure under the head of salary for the current financial year for the non-trading organization is 30 lakhs. Please student friends, if you see, I have not mentioned here for a non-trading organization even in the previous sum, but since we are talking about not-for-profit organization, although it is both the question doesn't carry the word, it indicates we are calculating or adjusting both the income and expenditure for a not-for-trading organization. So at the end, what you have to remember is only we take into account for income and expenditure, we only consider those income and that amount which is only relevant to the current financial. All other adjustment has to be made so that we can see the amount earned or amount spent only which relates to the current financial year. Hope you have understood what I tried to. So we have taken a very simple sum. I hope it's clear to you. Thank you. Till we meet in the next class. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.